Hi everyone, I'm Jason Crandell, and this is little information for teachers really. One of the skills that I work most to refine within my practice, and one of the skills I resonate most with the teachers that I study with, is the ability to speak honestly and clearly, just be as articulate as we can be. And over the years, I've learned a couple tips that can really help deliver more skillful, clear, and accurate instructions to our students. So the first thing that I want to say is it's a good idea to use landmarks when you are teaching and giving instructions. So I'm going to give an example to that. So let's say someone is doing a twist, or let's say you're teaching a twist, and you want that person to turn their chest to the right, okay? What I would typically do is not just say turn to the right, but I would finish that prepositional phrase and I would say turn to the right, towards the clock, or towards the yoga props, or towards the front of the room. So whatever landmark to the right, whatever direction they will be facing, actually use that landmark. And what that's going to help the students do, because remember, we easily get confused left, right, up, down when we're doing yoga practice because we take the body into so many different shapes. But the mind of the student, the brain of the student, has already mapped the room. The student knows where the front of the room is, they know where the clock is, they know where the exit door is, they know where the windows are. And so by adding that little touch of information, you're going to clarify that experience in the student's mind. Okay, so that's tip one. The second tip is to give a little bit of silence after each instruction. Okay, now that's difficult to do, but what we have to remember as a yoga teacher is that we tend to be, with regards to instruction, at least one step ahead of the experience of our student. So if I say, bend your right knee, I need to give the student a moment to bend their right knee before I tell them to press their back heel into the floor and reach the fingertips toward the ceiling. So I'm a pretty technical yoga teacher, and if I just say, bend your front knee, ground your back thigh bone, press your back heel into the floor, lengthen your spine, lift the chest, reach the arms, that's a mouthful. I didn't give the student any time to actually do those things before I went to the next thing. So just factor in a little bit of quiet between each instruction. Okay. The next thing I want to suggest is, as well as you can, if you feel it's appropriate, do your best to learn your students' names and to use them. Okay, now this does a lot of things, but one of the things it does is it breaks up the white noise that instruction starts to become. So if you're teaching along and you're giving your instructions and you're teaching whatever it is, at some point, the truth is most students tune the teacher out at least a little bit, or at least don't pick up everything that the teacher says. And that's normal, because students are having their own experience. But when you punctuate an instruction that's prefaced by a name, not only does it give that person something really specific to do, but it also awakens the whole class, right? All of a sudden, the whole class has heard a proper noun. They've heard a name, and it will tend to pull awareness back for everyone. And then the last tip I want to suggest, and I think we already know this, and it's a practice, but it's to vary your language and to know that to the best of your ability, you want to use direct command, right? You want to use actual literal instruction. And you also want to use, when possible or appropriate, imagery. And you want to use metaphor. And you want to use analogy. And you want to also use silence, right? Actually using direct command, silence, imagery, and metaphor is going to help give your students a rich experience in the classroom. Okay? I'm hopeful this is helpful to you, and I'm hopeful it's helpful to your students. Thank you.